We are. This is Austin's truck and trailer. We're gonna take it. Turbo diesel Titan. Austin's getting her strapped down. We're gonna head to Edgewater. Willis is gonna go with us. Run some 6.5 index. Tacking in. So we got 38 pounds in the front to reduce the rollout so we can cut a better lot. 17 in the rear. And we're going to set the boost controller on 32%. 30% I run a 658. So hopefully 32 will give us 650. We got a couple of passes to get her dialed in. Lights set at 6,500 RPM. Two steps set at 3,400 RPM. All right, Austin and Willis ran off on me. We're about to make a pass. See what we get. Stuff in his face. So I run a 695. It spun real bad. The tire pressure during the burnout went up to 19. I had it at 17. I put it at 16 and a half, and I lowered the launch RPM. Blinding you, ain't I? I lowered the launch RPM 100, and I'm gonna up the boost controller 1%. Where was that? 32. I'm gonna put it at 33 or 34. I'm gonna put it at 34. I don't know if we get another time trial where we were in the lanes 2 hours because the boards were broken. And everybody's hooking now, so I'm gonna put it back where it was. I'm pretty sure. I know at Kentucky Drag Race I run a 658 at 30%, 3,400 RPM launch. 32% should 3,400 launch. Plus the tires, I don't know if I mentioned this a while ago, but the tires went up to 1920 PSI. So I dropped them back down to 16 and a half. I'll do a better burnout, should hook. It should run really close to 650. Another thing I did is I put this on, see, number 2 I put on 75. And then number 1 I've got on 33. So if it spins, I'm going to try to catch back up to it. I'm going to reach down here and push this button. When I push this button, it goes to that number 2, and it's like a... what's the word I'm looking for? Scramble button. Scramble. It's like a scramble. So even if I spin, I'm going to get back into it, and I'm going to reach down here, and I'm going to hit this button, and I'm going to try to come around them and then just stay right in front of them if that happens. But we'll see. a 679. It spun I lowered the launch RPM from 3,400 to 3,200. I went from 33 on the boost controller percent to 38, and I loosened the rebound 3 on the front. Let the front end come up a little bit quicker. See what that does. We'll go back in and try again. Yeah, I went to hit the scramble and I thought I did, but I obviously didn't. I didn't feel it kick in. Yeah, I just wasn't able to reach. I need to put a button back there by the shifter so I can hit that scramble. I changed the plans. I upped it to 43% on the boost controller. Launch it 3,200, hope it don't spin, and I'll just try to go around him and stay in front of him, I guess. I don't know. But that guy, he beat me by, what'd I say, 0.09? He beat me by 0.09 on the tree. I need to get deeper in them beams. I got a ton of air pressure in my tires to roll out quicker, but I need to get in deeper so I can. The deeper you get, the faster your reaction time will be. I need that reaction time to be pretty fast. I'm getting true instant green. I'm getting 0.54 and 0.55, and yeah, he had like a 0.46. Yeah, 0.46. So right here, my bump decided it didn't want to work anymore. I guess that hard left-hand turn I made to get into that lane wrapped the wires around the steering wheel too tight and it pulled something loose. There we are. We're all loaded up. I stunk it up, guys. Stunk it up bad. I do appreciate Wilson Austin though coming with me. That's for sure. It was no prep. They haven't prepped the track at all. I didn't realize that. Probably I need to set something up where I can actually put weight in the trunk of the car. But yeah, on that last pass, my bumps quit working. It wouldn't bump in, so I didn't get a stage where I wanted to stage, and it took off. It spun, and then I was going to get in second and hit the scramble button, and I hit second and it scared me to death. It started spinning again, so I just said screw it. I run a 665 or something like that, and where I spun and didn't get staged right, it got me by a 1/10 on the trees. So I don't know. We'll work on the suspension a little bit more, set it up. They're starting to do these index races no prep, so we'll have to figure out, set something up where I can put actual weight in the trunk and, you know, get the suspension just right to do that type of index racing. But we'll get it. But we'll go over to some time slips here in a little bit. All right, so here's the first pass. 0.55 reaction time. They grouped us in with the 13-second cars for testing, so he was foot braking. He only got a 770, but this was just test pass. So test pass number 1, it spun, didn't record a 60 foot because they was just getting everything fixed. So a lot of the stuff's missing. It spun real bad in first gear, 695. We lowered the tire pressure, kept everything the same, and it spun again. See, on that setting, this car won 360 foot easy on the prep side, but so this guy had a 0.457, I had a 0.548. He killed me on the tree. I needed to be deeper in. I had a ton of tire pressure to try to reduce the rollout. I had like 38 pounds in the front. I think I mentioned that earlier. All right, we're driving over bumps, probably making y'all dizzy. And a 679 to his 666. And see, he only trapped 94, so he let off. On this one, my bump quit working. I went in the left lane. I had to turn the steering wheel a little bit more than typical because that's a sharp turn to that left lane. But so the bump wasn't working. I was right where I wanted to be to bump me in deep to get a good reaction time. I turned this first light on, then I try to creep up just a little and then bump from there, so it puts me in deep so I can cut a better reaction time. But this time I was in the left lane, 0.56, and see it spun even. Wow, see, it spun that time, but look, I lost a tenth on the 60 foot just from turning it down 200 RPM. It still spun. And then when the boost was up higher, he won 42 60 foot. He hooked good. Killed me on the tree again by 0.13. But I run a 6.65 at 106, and it spun in second gear. I thought it was going to come out from under me, but yeah, and see, he let off too because he had me covered. I only trapped 93. I trapped 106. So pretty much, because I didn't think it was going to be like a no prep kind of water burnout, no prep kind of thing. So they didn't mention that, but I thought it was going to be a prep track. I was not prepared. I wasn't prepared to begin with because the new boost controller and the new turbo, we've never really dialed it into 650 yet. We ran a 658 where I had it set initially. Well, actually 30%, 3400 launch, 30% it run at 658. So I had it on 33% with the 3400 launch, but I couldn't even get traction with the 3200 launch. For this type of no prep index racing, the suspension's gonna have to be set up differently. And yeah. We'll get back to and I'm gonna have to put some weight in the trunk, but off we go. When we get home, I'll show you the logs. It was only launching on like 3 or 4 pounds of boost, and I think the max it's seen down the track was like 8 pounds. But we'll look at the logs when we get back, and I'll show you. Dark. I wanted to add, this is where a Haltech Rebel. Hey, there was a porch light. This is where a Haltech Rebel would really be beneficial, where I could just pull timing like, yeah, off the brake and on the launch, etc. Blah blah blah. So I think I was on that tree pretty good. I just think the spinning was keeping me from getting a good reaction time. I know some of them 60 foots are like 140, and that is actually pretty good, but maybe I needed to be in deeper, and you know, plus it's spinning. I don't know. But anyway, guys, here's the pass I was trying to mimic. This was 30%, 3,400 RPM. Density altitude was 2380. So I figured it, you know, it ran a 658 at 100. And I figured 33, 34% would get us right there. And yeah, you'll see 679 was that second pass, and I trapped 101. I only need to trap 101 to run a 650, 101, 102. But that last pass, we can't hardly see it now, I'm in the dark. That last pass where it ran the 660, it actually trapped 106, where we had it at 43%. But yeah, I was trying to mimic that 658 pass, and then yeah, I don't know. We're just adding 2 or 3% to the controller, but didn't work. All right, going over the logs here real quick, but I wanted to mention something about that whole scramble thing. That whole scramble thing, it really wouldn't work unless you tree somebody, because if they tree you by a tenth, your time don't start until you actually go. So any amount someone trees you by, they just get a head start. So if I went around somebody and ran a 650 right on the nose, and they ran 650 right on the nose, and they got me by a tenth on the tree, then they would win by a tenth. But anyway, I'm noticing a trend here when I'm looking over some time slips from the last outing with the car, test and tune. And when I turned the car up, it was 60 foot and less.
You'll notice right here we're on the trans brake, about 4.3 pounds of boost. Don't pay no attention to this injector duty cycle. It's not set up right, but look, this thing's boost spiking. Look, it spins right there. You can't tell it's spinning by the speed because the wheel speed sensor is set to the front tire. So it's set to the front tire, not the rear. If it was set to the rear tire, you could tell it's spinning by the speed here. But anyway, look, it boost spikes and spins up to 12 pounds of boost. I let off. See, you can see I let off with the throttle position sensor here. And then I get back into it. Right here, throttle position sensor. And boom, boost spikes again. But out here in third gear where it's leveled out, it's only making like 5 or 6 pounds of boost. Then we'll go into the second one. Find where it was. It's right here. Alright, on the trans brake, about 4.5 pounds of boost. Let off the brake, boom, boost spike. 12 pounds of boost. And then going down the track, about 5 or 6 pounds of boost. Yeah, you can see right there where I let off, throttle position sensor where it's spinning. Feathering the throttle good there. Feather, feather, and go. Just like that. Alright, you can tell that here on the throttle position sensor. And then we'll look at the third one. This one probably spun the worst because it spun in first, second, and third. So yeah, I was on the trans brake here, and then the bump quit working, so I had to let off the gas, and then I had to scoot in, and then get right back up on the brake, and I didn't even get full boost built. Look, it was only like 2 pounds when I let off the trans brake. I let off the trans brake, and boom, boost spike, and it spins. Let off the gas. Get on it, it spins a little, grabs, spins a little, grabs, then it goes. And it made about 7.5 pounds of boost because we had it turned up to like 43% on that one. But yeah, I think this thing's boost spiking, and according to the eBoost Street 40, you can lower that gate pressure. Maybe I need to keep that gate pressure at 0. It'll spoil a little slower when you do that, but at least it won't do this boost spike. I think that boost spike's making the car spin. I think that's what it is. So the next test and tune they have, we're going to go to that and try to figure out why when we turn this thing up, it's the 60s going higher when it should be going lower, and try to figure out why it's boost spiking. That's probably what's causing the car to spin, because when it had the GT45 turbo in the manual boost controller, we went to a 6.5 index race, and in Ohio Valley, it was a no prep 6.5 index race, and I actually did good on that one. I actually made it to the semifinals. It hazed the tire, but it didn't spin like it did at this race. But yeah, we'll get it figured out. But thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.